Today we take a closer look at the issue of forced adoptions in England and Wales. These practices caused heartache, grief, and pain that still continues today, and now the Welsh government have offered their heartfelt apologies, but the UK government still has not. Our story begins in 1949, when the practice of forced adoptions began in England and Wales. Between then and 1976, an estimated 185,000 children were taken from unmarried mothers and adopted under these laws. In 2019, the UK Parliament's Joint Committee on Human Rights published a scathing report on the issue, condemning the practice and calling on the UK government to formally apologise. But despite their statement of sorrow, the UK government did not issue this apology. That, however, did not stop the Welsh government. Just last week, Deputy Minister for Social Services Julie Morgan made a rousing speech to the Welsh Senate, where she delivered the whole of the Welsh government's sincere empathy, regret, and apology for coerced adoptions in the nation's history. Many of us can understand the far-reaching and far-lasting effects of forced adoption and family separation. These impacts may be diverse, different for every story, but they are also long-lasting. And sadly, for many, it is still difficult to talk about for fear of judgment. It only takes a few moments to recognize that regardless of the societal pressures and social norms of the day, such cruelty should never be considered acceptable in any society. The needless grief and pain that so many mothers, children, and extended family members have suffered is something that can't be ignored. We join Veronica Smith, the founder of the Movement for an Adoption Apology, in her call for the UK government to follow the Welsh and Scottish governments in issuing a formal apology. And together with Ann Keane, a former MP and Labour Health Minister, we urge them to recognise, remember, and speak out on this wrong of society. The truth is that forced adoption was not a choice for these mothers. It was imposed by a system that withheld support and painted them as unfit mothers, robbing them of the opportunity to raise their own children and of the language and heritage that might otherwise have been passed from parent to kid. They did not give them up, these children were taken away from them. The women and men affected by this tragedy deserve to hear it from the UK government, a formal apology for this unforgivable and broken system. And that apology should come not in secrecy and sorrow, but in openness and redemption. We join the people of Scotland and Wales in their formal apologies and welcome their courage to confront and right this wrong. It is only through acknowledgement and acceptance that the pain and hurt can eventually be healed. That is what those affected and their families deserve. These laws of wrong must no longer be ignored, and every single person affected must feel validated, accepted, and safe in their own society. That's why we stand in solidarity today with those affected and demand that the UK government take the lead by formally apologising for these wrongs of the past. Until then, let us be the advocates and activists looking for change, the echoes of those who must not be forgotten. Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to follow us for more stories on important issues such as this one.